All right, welcome back. We're going to have another top 8 match here. This is between Chris and Jack. Again, this is the Tournament 27, and if you missed it from the previous comment before, this is a Champions version. So every once in a while we have some cool little spins on things and make things a little fun. So basically Champions is, I took an idea of 4 horsemen and I added a thought process based around Commander. So you pick a legendary creature, and that's your champion. You have to play a minimum of 2 champions, and you have to be able to cast them, and you have to play the colors of your champion. So you can't go outside the colors, and your champion is reduced by 2 colorless. And there's some other rules that go along with it, make it a little fun, but it's a really cool twist. So I'm just going to mention that one more time here before we get on to the match. But this is a really exciting match. I cannot wait to see this one. But it starts off with Chris, as you can see, as a Penelhaven. And Scavenger Folk. And there's Jack with his winning playmat. Oops, starting right off with a mana ramp, so we're going to Elf Deep Shadow. I'm curious to see what these guys are playing. I don't mind the background, my kids are hanging out with me. Alright, looks like we're swinging for 1 and pumping it. There we go. Well, it looks like there's a Taiga into a Curt 8. Perfect. I love that altered one too. That's pretty cool. In case you guys are ever wondering or interested, 4 Horsemen is proxy friendly. So you don't have to worry about having to own the old school cards or having to purchase them. It's all about the gathering and having fun. Oh, there's one of my favorite cards, Orbarg. I love that card. Basically, it takes first strike away. So it's very helpful against anything that has first strike. You can easily remove it. But of course, there's the chain on the ape, so the ape is gone. Let's see what else we got. Another attack for 2. Gotta love Penelhavens. And we got a factory. And 2... Oh, pixies. There's a nice Curt 8 and another pixie. So far, we're pretty close, but the Bayou and the Elf indicate black. So I love that. That's a cool spin. I wonder what other color Chris has going on. I mean, Chris does have a factory to keep in mind. And he does have the Penelhaven. Alright. Yeah, a little bit of defense. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking you probably need 1 more land after this one. And there's a Sullivan Library. Looks like Chris is a little in the tank there. My guess is he's looking for 1 more land, possibly. Oh, Scavenger Folk. So these decks are pretty similar so far, except obviously we know that Jack is playing black. And I'm not sure what other color Chris is playing at the moment. Oh, looks like okay, white. All right. There we go. Now we're going to see something come out. Oh, nice. All right, sorry about that. I stepped around real quick. So let's play a couple little games here as we go along. Let's see if you can name Chris's legend. If you know the name of it and what it does, put it in the comments and tell me if you've ever played it in a deck before. All right, sorry about that again. So yeah, basically let's play a game. I'm not gonna name the legends, but the dice there should have gave a nice clue to you on what Chris is playing. I love that legend. It's so powerful, especially against any kind of burn deck. It's a nightmare. All right, so now Chris is very well defended, and it's going to give him a little bit of time to possibly find some answers. But Jack does have the Solvent Library, so he can get... Oh, looks like he's grabbing another one of them. Definitely not going to see that factory activated anytime soon. But that means he really doesn't have a lot going on. That means he doesn't really have any threats or anything. Because if that's the most important thing he can pull out and play, then he's safe. Alright, so you'll see they're all buffed by 2. That's what that indicator means. So those are some big attacks going on. Let's see what happens here. Alright, so let's see what we have going on here. It might have a all-out block, it looks like. Yeah, took the damage from the other 2, went down to 13. Chris did lose his big guy, but if he has a way to get rid of that Scavenger Folk, he'll be able to activate an attack. Oh wow, there's another one. Okay. Wow. Yep, now everything gets a buff of 2 toughness, and that is a 5/6 now. Wow, looks like Chris is going off now. Looks like he has 1 card left in hand. He's got another Pixie. He's got plenty of mana. He's got an extra strip mine now, basically. So he can strip one of the main colors out. I would think he could strip the red and green source away from Jack. That'll stop him from being 4 mana. I really should say 5 mana, but looks like he's, yep, it's going to pop off the Folk to kill the factory, but now we're talking a lot of damage here. I'm not quite sure what he can pull out of his hat. We're going to block. He's going to have to block. I mean, he's only a 3. Yeah. So I say he's going to have to kind of block everything. He's going to bounce off some, but he's going to go down to 3. And I really don't know how he's going to get out of this. Creatures are not going to help him. He needs some kind of removal or something going on here. Even an Abyss at this point is too late in the game. I mean, I know he's got Curd Apes out there, but I don't know how he's... There's a Curd Ape, but he still has 1 creature left on ChrisH's side. I don't know how he's gonna... Because he's gonna have to sacrifice a Curd Ape to the big guy. So one of them's gonna vanish, and the other 2 are gonna bounce. But now he's gonna go down to 2. Oh, that'll be the death then. He's gonna have to play 2 creatures next turn, which I don't think he has because he would have played them already. There's 1. Do we have some? No. That should be all she wrote. Yep. All right, let's go on to game number 2. All right, so we're on game number 2. So we got a Badlands to a Curd Ape. I always love starting that way because your opponent never knows if you're dropping a forest next turn or not. I had too many times where I started with a Taiga Curd Ape and somebody had a strip mine or some way to get 2 mana and sink hold it, but they're not going to start out with a strip mine if you're not showing green. They're going to play something like that card right there. So now Jack can put down something that counts as a forest, and his Curd Ape is bigger. There you go. I always find that's the strongest way to play Curd Apes. Oh, he's a discard strategy. Oh man, I bet you were going to see chains. Valor Stone. Looks like we're passing with 6. All right, let's see what Jack's got going on here. Now see, there's another one. I wonder if he is, because if that's the thing, I would expect chains and winds of change. because they go together extremely well. And you don't have some of the key cards in this format, but you do have ways to force your opponent to lose all cards in hand, and chains and Winds of Change is perfect. Oh, I like that Spitting Slug. Powerful creature too. So Jack's gonna have to get something going here. There's another one of the lovely legendary lands I love. Remove first strike. It looks like he's a little, not quite sure what all's in Jack's deck, but look like he was having a hard time finding answers for certain things last game. It looks like he's, let's see what we got here. Oh, I'm expecting a legend. Yep. There's Big and Scary. Oh, apparently my son really likes Big and Scary too. I'll see if you guys can figure out the name of that card. And we should have counters on all the green. Yep. There's another hint for you. Last time you didn't realize because they were all green. But the Crit Apes do not get the bonuses. It only gives it to green creatures. An additional 2 toughness. But that's a 5/6. That's heavy. That's hard to answer. In case you're wondering, on 4 Horsemen, what in the world do you do with a 5/6 like that? There's a bunch of answers. That's one of them. And then there's oubliettes and spirit links and all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah, sorry, my son's really loving his apple juice next to my ear here, so if you hear that, my bad, guys. Yeah, Prison's pretty cool. I love that card. I didn't realize it at first. I never heard of it. And somebody played it on me once, and I was like, what? And I had to actually look it up. And it's a good card. My son's really into this game. I think he likes the Crit Ape. So what's your favorite Arabian Nights card? Believe it or not, mine's actually Crit Ape. I love Crit Ape. I know a lot of people eat to the Juzans. There's so many good cards in Arabian Nights. But put down your comments and tell me what your favorite Arabian Nights card is. And if you're 4 Horsemen, tell me what your favorite 4 Horsemen card is. If you look at Jack's mat, you'll notice there's all 4 Horsemen cards in it. You'll see Guardian Beast there, all kinds of fun stuff. Now, that's a huge hit coming. I'm wondering what Chris has something going on here. I wonder what's going to happen. Let me see another one. Oh no, Spitting Slug. Oh boy, I should get a counter too. If I'm not mistaken, that's a 2/6. Well, there's a draw engine. I'm not going to mention the name. I'll see if you guys can figure that out. That's an awesome card. In case you're wondering for draw engines for 4 Horsemen, that's one of them right there. A lot of people overlook it. Yeah, I think they overlook it. I think it's really powerful. I think Chadster was playing them in one of his decks. Yeah? Typically when I'm still not sure if he's playing the chains or not. I'll have another video where I'm going to take all the deck pictures and talk about everyone's decks. So I'm going to do that here after the top 8s and those are done. I think that'll be a pretty cool thing to talk about. But I would think if you're playing racks, the only thing I can really think of that's more useful is chains and winds of change. And if you're doing those, I expected 4 of each. Because that shuts off all draw engines for 4 horsemen. Chains is deadly. But you have to have 4 chains, 4 winds, 4 racks, and then you can figure the rest out. There's a billion different ways to do it. Man, that's a heavy hit. Now I know. See, Jack's tapped. Oh no, that's right. He's got an elf. Yep. Take a damage. Tap the big guy. But then prison. And probably take the rest, I would assume, or block it with an elf. Oh wait. Yeah. No. He can block them. They're only 2 power, but there's a bonus to champions if you can't reduce the casting cost by 2. So if that was his champion, then yes, he can block and just it wouldn't die. We'll find out in a moment here. But the bonus only works for your champion. Whirling Dervish? Yep. Now I'd expect here Jack not to really do much. I mean, he's got to find an answer, but if he doesn't have anything in hand, I would expect him to draw. I don't think he's playing chains if he has draw engines like that, because it's going to counteract itself. Because chains is universal. Sorry, mine's a little crazy today. But as you guys know, I record this in real life with my kids around so I can keep an eye on them. Yeah, see, because Jack can still tap down the big guy. But now he has a dervish to... So there's the tap for the prison. So the creature can't actually do anything. And then we got a Curd Ape. I'm assuming on the dervish. Well, gonna have to balance. So yeah, I'd assume on the dervish he's gonna take some damage. Now we're gonna tap out for another one. Oh no, earn him. Oh boy. That's even bigger now. That's gonna get the bonus from his champion. And it's gonna be a 4/7. Holy cow. That's brutal. Yep, there it is. +2. Wow. That's why spice events are cool sometimes. You get to play some other cards you normally don't, switches things up a little bit. It is a lot of fun. If you have not played in the spice tournament before, I would definitely look them up and play when we have them. We don't have all too many of them, but we do have a couple here and there scattered out throughout the year. And they are always fun, and they always change up. Alright, well that'll help. Another control piece out. And this also does now with the land, it allows him to draw a card on Chris's end step. because he can always use his elf to tap down the big guy. But you know that if Chris is smart, he's going to attack with all of them, forcing Jack to pay 2 mana, so he can't use the draw engine. But let's see what Chris has in hand. He's got a bunch of cards there. Looks like we got an Alpha Strike coming here. Nope, almost. No Kurt 8. So we know we're paying the 2. So it's only the top 3 that are left. That little indicator on the elf means that it has Forest Walk from the Djinn. Looks like we have something here. Chain Lightning. Okay. Not sure about that. I almost would chain the life total or the Kurt 8 because the draw engine isn't useful because you know he has to spend 2 mana. So he can't, if he wants to use the draw engine, he can't cast anything. So it's basically a lose-lose for Jack. So I don't know if I would have wasted the chain on the draw engine. Because if you took out the Kurt 8, he no longer can just bounce off certain things, so he has to find more answers. I always find pixies are awesome, but I really don't like main decking more than like 2, because I feel like sometimes they're just 2/1 dead creatures, because there's no artifacts on your opponent's side. So if your opponent doesn't have artifacts, and in this format you only have 1 factory, so it's not really as useful. I feel like it's more of a sideboard card personally, but I could be wrong here. These guys have more history in 4 Horsemen than I do. But you know there's going to be big strike here. Yeah, now it's an Alpha Strike. I was expecting it last turn, but we definitely have it this turn. So we know the big guys are going to get with Imprison. So you have the 4 top creatures coming. Let's see what we do here. Alright, my bad. My son got a hold of a giant bag of rubber bands from my daughter and quick ran out before I could hit pause and dumped probably a good 200 rubber bands on the floor. So that was fun. Alright, so there's a double block. I'll try and kill off one of the big guys, I would assume, or at least one of the dervishes, because those dervishes are definitely a big problem. Oh, looks like we're going down to 8. He's going to lose at least lose the pixie. Yep, there's 1 down. I wonder where the damage went. There's another dervish, but Dervish still should have done a point of damage to something. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright, Jack, let's see what we got here, bud. I like the size of Chris's playmat. If you ever notice when you've seen Chris or anything, look at the size of his playmat. It's just a little bigger and it's amazing. Oh, okay. That's actually good with imprisons because you can choose the imprisoned creature. Never thought about that before, actually. So the forest walk isn't going to hurt Jack. I think Jack needs to find like 2 more imprisons, though. Chris has to watch cards in hand because of the rack, too. Let's see what Chris got. Yeah, I would just do an Alpha Strike because he has to use the elf and his only other land. So now he only has 2 blockers. So it really doesn't make all that much of a difference what he blocks. He's going to have to block both dervishes. So that's 2, 4, 6 damage. So he's down to like 1 health as far as I'm estimating. Yeah. Do we have a chain lightning? Nope, he would have played that already. Oh, Sylvan Library. Okay, well. A little late in the game there, but depending on what Jack pulls out of his pocket here. He needs to play another creature here and keep mana open. Another imprison would help too. There you go. Okay. Now does he have a creature on top of that? Even a 1/1, it doesn't matter, just something. But he has to keep his mana open because he doesn't want to use his elf, he'll die. Okay. Now we'll see if Chris finds a Chain Lightning or Pyrotechnics or something. Oh, it looks like he forgot to trigger the library and just drew. Oh no, there we go. He would have picked it instantaneously, so I'm assuming it's not a direct damage spell. There's a maze. And if you didn't hear it before, you're wondering, the forest walk from Jack that he's been giving out is going to one of the imprisoned creatures. I'm wondering what the other imprisoned one is. Oh man, that's what the Curd Ape one is. Okay. Yep, so there's the imprison. And block with the Urnum and the elf. So you can... It's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't think he has a way out of this. He only has 3 creatures. Yeah, no matter what he does, there's 4 creatures and he only has 3, so. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed those games. Oh, there's Pyrotechnics. Yeah, that would have been a little different. Khalees knocked out some big guys, but he had to use all the mana for the prisons. It's the only downside to it. But I hope you guys enjoyed that and have a wonderful day.